Have you ever watched a superhero scene and thought to yourself, why did Spider-Man just let the robber run away? Or why wouldn't Spider-Man try and catch Gwen with his body instead of directly with the web? Or how could Quicksilver, the man whose perception is so fast he sees in nearly slow motion, die to bullet? Oh, okay, that one doesn't make much sense.
You didn't see that coming.
But I think it's something a lot of fans do, myself included, and I like to call it the viewer effect. The viewer effect can be described as a cognitive disconnect in storytelling, where the audience interprets a character's actions using their own emotionally detached logic instead of the character's internal, in-the-moment psychological reality. In other words, we know it's fake. There is no adrenaline running through our body. We're sitting on the couch with a bag of chips. It's easy to pick and poke at what you would do, versus truly analyzing a scene from a character's perspective and emotions, and that's the topic I want to go into in today's video. The first example of this I want to take a look at is Green Ghost from Invincible, but to do that we need to look at who she is as a character. Her name is Elena Adams. She's a regular human photographer that came across the Green Ghost stone. It's not directly stated how long she's been on the team, but we know Nolan's been on Earth for roughly 20 years, and he fought with the original Green Ghost, so we can speculate somewhere between the range of 5 to 10 or so. She gets an emergency call to meet at Guardians HQ, but as she arrives, everyone else is just as stunned as her when they realize that nobody there sent it in. This is where we need to start analyzing her headspace. With a clear sense of unease and confusion, they have no idea what to expect. But before they even have a chance to plan anything, Omni-Man comes in flying at the Immortal's head, and if it wasn't for Red Rush's enhanced perception, his brain would have been de-atomized. Everybody is stunned to see Nolan as the culprit of the attack until War Woman rushes in to get on the offensive first. Now, we don't know this for certain, but we can imagine they're holding back a little because they don't understand the actual gravity of the situation. But once Bro No Look caught Red Rush's hand and then smushed his head like the 1000 Rubber Band versus Watermelon videos, they knew they had a lock in. And something else I want to note is that up until this point, Green Ghost is the only person to not throw any strikes. She has been completely intangible the whole time, trying to stay away from Omni-Man. While her powers aren't great offensively, the real problem comes with the fact that becoming intangible requires extreme concentration, and on top of that, her only other abilities are flight and enhanced durability. So pair that up with the emotional confusion of the situation and the fact that she is a true human that is gaining the powers from an object. She requires to swallow a stone and throw it back up to be normal again. And finally, she also lacks the amount of combat experience as her other teammates, such as the Immortal or War Woman. We then see everybody in absolute shock after watching Red Rush's brain turn into strawberry applesauce. They stop pulling their punches and try giving it everything they got, but Omni-Man is just too strong and too fast for them to put up with. It's then when Darkwing tries to catch Omni-Man off guard until he catches his foot, hits him twice on the ground, and pops him like a balloon, throwing him into Green Ghost's hand as she catches the body of her lifeless friend. This is the part where most people say it's a mistake, as she should have stayed intangible with Omni-Man to just fly right through her and stay in the battle. But if you take into account everything that I have said earlier in this video, you would understand that it is completely reasonable for her to react this way. Looking at this from the character's perspective, not only for Green Ghost, but for all of the Guardians of the Globe in this fight, makes it make a whole lot more sense as to how they were able to be dispatched so easily by Omni-Man, and in my opinion, is the thing that people overlook the most when they say it doesn't make sense. Another moment I want to take a look at is probably the most debated MCU moment that I can think of, and it's Peter Quill punching Thanos while they're trying to take the glove off. If you don't know the Infinity War timeline, I cannot lie, I'm not explaining that. The movie's like 30,000 years old, you gotta catch up. But a lot of people think it's super goofy and just bad writing that he punches him while they're so close to literally saving the fate of Earth and everything. I'm gonna dive into why it not only makes sense emotionally, but two, it fits in with Peter Quill's character honestly perfectly. Before Star-Lord starts pistol whipping the shit out of Thanos, we need to take into account that he just found out that his girl, his main squeeze, was sacrificed by her supposed father for the devious master universe domination plan. So understandably, he's pretty upset. and he tries to reason with him, telling him, tell me if you did it or not, and he has the audacity look him straight in the eyes and tell him, you had to? Something else we need to take into account is Star-Lord's whole life of trauma. He watched his mother die as a child and was kidnapped right after and spent years trying to escape from that. And Gamora was the one that grounded him and kept him stable, kept him sane. And after hearing that news, in his mind, he had nothing else to lose at this point. Everything he wanted was gone. But here's the thing. Star-Lord punching Thanos isn't just emotionally understandable, it's consistent with his character. It matches everything we know about his personality. He is impulsive, he is reactive. His entire time we've seen him with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he has led with emotion, not strategy. This dude is not Kratos. This is the same guy who immediately tried to shoot his father when he learned what he did to his mom. Bad. The same guy who tried to grab the Power Stone barehanded, and the same guys whose tactical diversions are dance-offs, bro. Like, what?
Someday, put it together. What are you doing?
But why I'm saying this is because Star-Lord has never come up with some mastermind strategic plan in any of his biggest moments in his MCU arc. He has always acted on impulse and his emotions first. So thinking he would suddenly go against his entire character arc just because it's Thanos and it's really important is a ridiculous thought. This is who Star-Lord is, and it makes absolute sense that this happened, but a lot of people don't think of it that way because they see it from the base point of view. So trying to change your perspective and take into account his traumatic past, his impulsive history, and the fact that he is still half human and his emotional intelligence is just as good as yours or mine, it makes absolute sense as to why he would freak out like that. And I, again, think it fits his character more than if he was to say calm, cool, and collected, because it would go against the entire philosophy of a character that fans have come to know and love for years. But at the end of the day, all of these things are my opinion, so you're completely entitled to feel another way. And if you do think, say, some of the scenes that I put in here are stupid and you don't believe the rhetoric that I put behind it, or you find a scene that you know that thinks fits the viewer effect really well, drop that below in the comments and maybe I'll make a part 2 to a series like this. But if you did make it all the way to the end of the video, it'd mean the world if you drop a like and subscribe for me. If not, no worries, but I always do appreciate it. And my name is Austin, and I hope you guys have appreciated the first video on this channel, and you guys have a blessed day. Deuces.